the first gamer. Barry's son. Well done, David Round.
Yeah, well worked. Two players to tackle there.
At just 21 years of age, David Round has had to confront a footballer's greatest nightmare.
Yeah, obviously you're pretty shattered as a young bloke when you get the flick, but no, you just knuckle down and go back and work up to it again. So yeah, definitely this comp will help push players back up.
Now he juggles a plumbing apprenticeship with a flourishing career at the Williamstown Seagulls.
Well, after I got the flick from North, I don't think I had much choice. So if I was going to a VFA club, it was going to be Willie, and yeah, so I live in Willie, so yeah, that was the natural choice.
Following in the footsteps of his all-conquering father, David Round loves a challenge.
It's definitely a lot different competition where you play on men every week rather than in the AFL reserves. Last year you might come up against some young, tall, skinny kids. Now we've got men and quality players every week. Like I've played on Monkhurst, Eastall, Somerville, places like that. So yeah, it's definitely improved.
Tonight, David and a committed Williamstown take on the Bendigo Diggers in Monday Night Football.
The son of the 1981 Brownlow medalist, Barry Round. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Waverley Park for the clash in Monday night VFL action between Bendigo and Williamstown. And currently, Williamstown look as though they're going to go in warm favourites for tonight's clash. Isn't that right, Peter Dacos? It's good to have you back.
It is, Don. It's nice to be back. I wouldn't like to be anywhere else bar at AFL Park on a Monday night.
And isn't it great too to have Phil Malin with us, a man from the Western Bulldogs now, but he was a Carlton Premiership player back in 81. Phil, good to see you.
Thanks very much, Peter.
It's an interesting night tonight, and you've got a link with Williamstown, and they would certainly go in as hot favourites.
Yeah, I would think so. Something that Williamstown have got to worry about is that they've performed very well against AFL sides and haven't performed all that well against sides that haven't been linked to AFL clubs. So it'll be a good test for them tonight.
Well, as Dakes has already said, it is a pretty cool night, so the Bendigo Diggers are going through their warm-up down in the rooms and just making sure that everything's okay, they're nice and warm. Interesting to see they're using the tennis balls down there, Dakes.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of times they will pull the tennis balls out. I know in our days at Collingwood, Lee Matthews, that was a little bit of an exercise shark that Barney used to pull, so it just used to get the guys down so they would actually get down and bend over and pick up the ball, because with a football, I suppose, a lot easier. It will bounce up to you at times. So
yeah, I can't remember playing with a tennis ball before a warm-up, that's for sure.
Well, it's different, isn't it?
Here's one bloke who could never bend over, unless there was a beer down on the ground in front of him. Crackers, good evening.
Good evening, Peter and Shark. It's nice to see your smiling face, Shark, up there. Tried to belt you a couple of times.
Couldn't catch him?
No, I couldn't get him, and he used to swear too. And I suppose a lot of people that play in South Australia swear now, don't they? But the ground conditions are great down here, and they're not a big crowd, but they're committed, and that's what I like about them down here. They are committed, and yes, and I've got the flu, so it'll be interesting. But I've seen Des Dixon's going to turn up here later on, who was, there's a report that he ate a bloke down at Glenferrie Oval one day, so I want to ask him about that. But I'm looking forward to having a really good game, to be honest. I reckon it'll be all right. It'll be close from what you think, Danny.
All right, Crackers, the crowd is committed, and Crackers should be committed. Let's go down to the Bendigo rooms now, and Nathan Bauer, the captain coach, is just giving the last-minute talk to his players before they head out onto the ground.
And try and make an impact in the game. And that's what you're starting to do. So we're starting to get there, but it just takes a couple more to make sure that when they get out there, they're having an impact. Okay? Not just being out there for the fun of it, but being out there for the impact. Hey, we've got to back ourselves tonight. We know what we've been up against, we've known it all year, but we're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to get somewhere, but we've got to back ourselves. And number one, fellas, we've got to enjoy it. And tonight, we've run out. It's a beautiful ground. It's in good condition. We're with our mates, aren't we? So we've got to just enjoy the experience. Come on, fellas.
Telling his men to enjoy the experience, and there is the lineup that will be representing Bendigo tonight. Nathan Bauer, the captain and the coach, and of course we're familiar with him, Dakes, as far as the AFL ranks are concerned, and we've also seen Nick Carter in AFL ranks number 9 as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest difference. When the Willie team comes up, you'll notice there's a lot of certainly AFL type experience there. A lot of boys spending a bit of time at AFL clubs, whereas with Bendigo you've got 2 and possibly 3 there.
Now, Phil, as we look at the Williamstown lineup, there are some familiar faces here, but apart from the players that we've seen at AFL level, who are some of the boys we should be looking out for tonight?
Well, certainly if you look at Smoker, he's the type of player that can bob up and kick 3 or 4 goals a game, so he's been pretty good. obviously David Round, who was an ex-AFL player, has been good, and also some of the young kids I think that are running around. The crowd will love to see play. Bloke like Patrick Bowden, who's only from Alice Springs, has been pretty good also.
Let's have a look at some of our players to watch tonight. And first of all, from the Bendigo Diggers, Brock Shields. Not a tall player, Dakes, but very nippy around the packs and will be in the play a lot.
Well, Brock's pretty much built along the lines of a lot of the Bendigo boys. They're a smaller type team. He's good at ground level. And as you notice on that occasion, pretty handy around the goals.
Matthew Taunton is a guy who is a lot taller. He is the number 1 ruckman. So he's got a big task tonight. First hands on the foot is going to be important.
Well, he's pretty good around the ground, and as you made mention, he's the biggest boy for Bendigo. He's the guy that they will use around the ground. He's the guy that they hope will get them going.
For Williamstown, Mark West, we're used to seeing him, and physical is one word that comes to mind, Phil.
Yeah, very physical. He has had a knee injury early in the year, so he's working his way back into form over the last couple of weeks.
And you won't be able to miss Matthew Robbins too, a flashy player. He's a goal kicker. He did play 7 games with Geelong. He played 13 games with the Western Bulldogs last year.
Yeah, he's just found it a bit hard to get his spot in the seniors this year. Obviously, he plays across half-back and wing, and I think you'll see him go pretty well tonight.
So there you go. That's our lineup, the players to watch in this match between the Bendigo Diggers and Williamstown, and we'll come back to look at the opening bounce here at Waverley Park on C7 Sport after this break. Well, Andrew Buse is the man currently in charge of Williamstown, and before the match tonight, he caught up with Crackers Keenan.
Thanks, Peter. I've got Andrew Buse, coach of Williamstown. Looking forward to tonight, Busey.
Yeah, we are. It's, I suppose, been waiting all weekend for this one. We've had the reserves play on Saturday, and, you go and watch that, and you've only got that game to fill your weekend in with, and, it's been 8 days since our last performance.
Can you get them early?
That's probably part of our plan. If we, generally when we play well, we get out of the blocks well and start the game off. If we can put them away with some early shots, yeah, that'll be our aim today.
Well, best of luck. Peter, I just hope he goes back to Geelong because he was one of the greats down there. Back to you, Peter.
He was one of the greats too. Terrific fella, Andrew Buse, the Rat as he's affectionately known. And wasn't he a player of great skill? I remember a goal that he kicked down
Goal of the year.
Cardinia Park, as it was, the goal of the year, and he's having a good time, and there he is with Big Bazza, Barry Round, one of the great characters in footy.
Yeah, and a terrific player. Good to see him back at Willie. He's really propped that club up over the years. I know as a kid, even when he went back watching Barry play in the VFA, forever had that contact. And there's his young boy with Williamstown, David, and I suppose at 22 years of age, he's still got plenty of time to work his way back into AFL competition.
What do the players say about the ground surface out here at Waverley, Phil? We touch on it every week, but looking from our vantage point high above the ground here, it just looks magnificent.
Yeah, it certainly is, Peter. I think Colonia would certainly like to have a ground like this
Wouldn't
at
they?
the moment.
Yeah.
It's nice and cold too, boys.
Yeah.
Won't take the boys too long to get warm. There's Nathan Bauer on screen, former Tiger.
I think we'd better bring the soup next week, Dakes. What do you reckon?
I am definitely putting a singlet on next week.
All right, here we go. This is round 10 action, the first part of round 10 of the competition.
Play on!
And it's Round versus Taunton in the ruck. Heading in after the footy in the early stages is Walsh for the Bendigo Diggers. He got the ball away, and they're going to be first into attack, and they're going to use the members' side of the ground to come into attack, but the kick wasn't a good one, and the mark taken there by Brown. He goes off by hand. Williamstown get it back to the wing. Couple of flyers.
Good mark.
Man at the front was Geddes, but the man at the back for Williamstown, Round, took the mark.
Hold it! What's the holding?
Wasn't too happy with the attention he got either.
Back, Cooter, take it back.
They'd really be hoping, sorry Donners, they'd really be hoping Bendigo really to have any chance in this game. And let's face it, they have battled and they've got a relatively young team. So they'd be hoping that at least not allowing Willie to get out too early.
David Round from the wing, kicks to a congested area. Taunton almost doing the roving there as Eames on the left foot. Kicks it across the face of the goals and Bauer going back. Williamstown defence just able to run it out. They've got the numbers back there.
Go, Nico, go,
and the ball was flipped over the top and taken by Matty Robbins.
Play on!
And he goes wide and they've got men in space. Sadi Ghazi's got it now for Williamstown. About 75 out from goal. Good delivery. Chip kick over the top, and Kristen Macri, who's kicked a few goals for Williamstown this year, has the mark at about 40, probably 35.
Well, he had a day out 2 weeks ago, Phil, I think against the Bombers out
Yeah,
at
he kicked
Willie there.
6 that day, and
guys, let it
if
go.
there was one bloke you would like to have the ball in the hands of to kick a goal, it would be
Don't
McCree.
jump over, mate, okay? Thanks. Let
He's
it go.
kicked 6 3 times this year.
Don't push.
From 40, kicks a goal.
I'm a good judge.
Ball clear.
Very good kick, very good judge. First goal of the game. Now, is it McCree or Macri, Phil?
We call him McCree.
Okay, well, we'll call him McCree as well. Well, we'll try to anyway.
No, I'll call him Macri because I've been used to it for the
Yeah,
last 5 weeks.
Yeah, I've called him Macri most of the time. But anyway, McCree gets the first goal, and Williamstown leads by that margin, and we've been playing 4 minutes in this opening quarter.
Off half back now, Willie should get out. They do nicely, and it's Carrick able to put it across. The ball not hitting the mark. They'll cut it off here. Bendigo and shoot it forward through Dylan to the goal square. There's a chance here, and a good mark down there for Bendigo is Shields. So Bo Shields able to give Bendigo the opportunity. Only 15 metres out, directly in front. So you can expect scores to be level after this kick.
He's kicked a few goals the last few weeks too, Dukes. He kicked 3 against Werribee in the 68-point loss last week, and he kicked a couple against Sandringham about 3 weeks ago.
So he's only a young kid, 21 years of age, and he's put it straight through the middle. So scores level. We've got a goal apiece.
He was able to mark it, get it over the top to Taylor. Taylor was interfered with after he kicked it,
Just here.
and the free kick will be taken down the ground. Patrick Bowden's got it,
Too late to tackle him too high.
and he'll kick from round about 48 metres.
Come right out, guys. Come right out.
His brother's having a good season for the Tigers at the
Terrific
moment.
player, isn't he?
Yep.
So
Excellent.
versatile, able to play at both ends of the ground.
When you talk about going to the next level, he really has, Bowden.
Patrick Bowden chips it in short. That's lovely delivery and very slack marking by the Bendigo Diggers to allow a man that sort of latitude 15 metres out from goal. And that turns probably a 50-50 goal into a certain goal.
No helmet for Josh Marnie.
Yeah, that's actually, that surprised me a little bit because we're so used to seeing him in the helmet.
Well, I've always questioned, Shark, whether those helmets, we'll wait after this kick.
Should be no problems for Josh.
That's a spot.
And it isn't. A man who played 19 games with Collingwood. He played 7 games with the Western Bulldogs, and he kicks the second goal for Williamstown.
Well, I'll tell you an area of his game that I think has improved, and that's has been his kicking. I think at Pineland he was a little bit down, I suppose, with his disposal. You can never question Josh Marnie's ability to just put his head down and over the ball and put himself in. The kicking had let him down at different times, but I think this year he's tightened up. But I was just going to make the point about the helmets and whether the peripheral vision, whether a player actually has any with the helmets, because you've got the side part of the helmet. I'm not sure. Have they ever tested the players for that?
Well, I've asked actually Josh about that, and he doesn't seem to have many problems. I guess Josh wears it because he's been knocked out 300 times, and every time he gets hit, he sees stars.
Yeah, I think he was centre-half forward for Glen Rowan at one stage, Crackers, and he got involved in a bit of a shootout. Gathercole has taken the mark here. And was it Gathercole or was it Shields? Shields it was, in fact, at the back, taking a very good mark. So he's got a good pair of hands.
Nice strong mark.
Just push out, guys. Just here.
Going at it pretty hard. So he started pretty well. He's got his early goal, so should give him plenty of confidence going at goal again.
Williamstown's probably had more of the footy at this stage, but Bendigo have made the most of their opportunities. Shields kicked the goal earlier.
Thanks, Jim. That's close enough.
Kicks from 35, and that's quite a nice kick too. So he's got his second. And they stay in touch at the 12-minute mark. Checking the scores, Williamstown 2-1-13, Bendigo 2 straight, so the margin just 1 point. Let's have a listen what Andrew Bewes has been saying in the coach's box.
Who's our main defender there?
Thanks, Johnny.
Just go and tell Robert he's running forward, okay? We don't need to over-possess. I mean, a kick down gets us into the well inside 50, okay? We're probably 15 metres from goal with a good kick from there, okay?
Coming back. So Bendigo will go forward. That's a good kick. That was a great kick. And he's got his teammate there in O'Toole. So they did well. That was a terrific kick. He's drilled that from about 35 as two of the boys are going at it. There's and the boys are into it.
It is right on there.
Over in the pocket here. Here we go.
Let it go.
There'll be about $18,000 worth there, Donners.
Yes, and Mark Brown's involved, and so too is Troy West, the skipper.
So O'Toole goes at goal, and they have their third, Bendigo. So they've done quite well early in this game. We're 15.5 minutes into this first quarter, and Bendigo take the lead. Tiger raw meter would have had nothing on that roar of mine. That was a fair effort. West will drop it into the middle of the ground, and Willie will get out there. So it's Craig Smoker as the siren goes.
And as it does, Dakes, we might just cross down quickly to Crackers. We can find out more about the medical report about Matthew Dixon. Crackers? I think the doctor.
Yeah, and the doctor said he's got a sore neck, but he looks like he'll probably be all right. And his wife just headed down there because she was a little bit concerned. But I've just been chatting to the doctor. He said and I asked Matty. I said, "What happened?" He said, "I don't remember anything until I got up." So I think he's not going to be playing for the afternoon or the evening.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good news anyway that he is. Back in the land of the living. There he is with the neck brace, and don't get too worried about that because they do use that as precautionary measures these days.
They do it with a lot of the boys as they're taking them up off on a stretcher these days, so it's interesting. It does look a little bit savage.
So at quarter time, Bendigo serving it right up to Williamstown, 3-5 to 3-1. We'll be back with Phil Malin and Peter Dacos at Waverley Park after this break on C7 Sport. 4 points in it at the start of the second quarter. Nice bounce. Up goes Dooley, brings it down, comes straight down to West. West shovels it out into the path of a teammate. Already they're straight into attack. That's a big kick. That'll go to the back and the mark will be taken. So that's just exactly what they need. And in fact, it's Dooley taking the mark down there.
And he was just too big for young Geddes. Dean Geddes down there, so he's got an advantage.
And he kicks the goal. So that's exactly what they wanted. Just 33 seconds on the clock. And Williamstown takes the lead with an early goal.
We'll get them forward again. Ghazi tries to tap it back at a couple of teammates there. Matthew Robbins well down the ground, not scared to run down. And there's another chance from Macri. He's going to be tackled, but he'll go at goal, and will he have their second?
All clear.
Second goal in just under 2 minutes of footy into the second quarter. And Willie now just, I suppose, just starting to wind up.
Carrick was able to get the hand pass away. Mark West was going to lay one of those trademark shepherds, and the opponent saw him coming and thought better of it. Plunkett, couple of bounces. Good delivery too. Excellent stuff. They're moving the ball a lot better this time. Taylor's got it for Williamstown. Having already kicked 2 goals in the first 90 seconds, and there's Dooley again.
Let's
and
go
50 metres.
Punch the ball straight
knocked the ball out of his hands. So it's turned it into a certain goal, and that's going to hurt Bendigo.
Well, it is going to hurt him, and certainly Paul Dooley would have been tested from there, about 40-45 out by the time he went back from the mark. And we've seen his earlier effort in that first quarter where he did miss, but this is another gimme for him. I suppose just handing it to him on a platter.
I think what Bendigo have got to try and do now is just really lock away their direct opponent. And, you know, this is going to be Willie's third goal in a matter of the same amount of minutes. And I think that if they can just, you know, I think become a little bit more accountable now, it can only help them.
Yep, so that's his second, Paul Dooley. And at the moment,
I hear what you say, that he wouldn't be able to take it all, but you know, if we get the right match for him, I'm sure he'd do a good job.
Mark West in there working hard again, tried to get it out to his skipper in West. Nathan Bauer ducks around a man now and should stroll into goal, and does. So that's a good goal for Bendigo, just to stop the bleeding a little bit. And they have their fourth, so they move on to 4-5. Williamstown 6-1. The margin still only 8 points, and we've been playing almost 7 minutes of this second quarter, so we've seen plenty of goals at the start of the second term.
Well, again, they were pretty good across half forward then. Just the pressure on Willie and their willingness to just have that contest, a confrontation. Jeez, they can never win. They let it go and we have a go at them, and they pull it up and we have a go at them.
I won't get fined for that, will I?
No, Dakes will pay the fine anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the check's in the mail. Well, Bendigo will get out, so they'll drive forward here. Schmidt, he's going to get run down. So still at half back, so the pressure of Willie, the intensity has definitely lifted, making a real contest of it now. Lloyd will just chip it in, and Eames has got it. So usually a thumping kick, Anthony Eames, ex-Werribee boy. Actually won a Liston, didn't he, Sharp?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he's been certainly around the scene for a long time. He is well aware of what VFL footy's all about.
Stay 5, guys.
So Anthony Eames looking to add to pretty impressive second quarter of footy from Willie. This may just get home. and I think it's hit the post. Or has it got through? No, it's a goal. So Anthony Eames joins the goal kicking list, and Williamstown just keep going along. 7-1-43 now. That's a 14-point lead. Bendigo 4-5-29, and it's been pretty good. Here's that kick again.
Thanks, mate. 1%.
So pretty close to the man on the mark too, but just getting home. So in the end, nice goal. And again, Phil, definitely Willie's just their work rate pretty impressive in this second quarter. Yeah, that's what it's all about, and definitely appreciated by the boys.
Play on!
So Willie now with a chance, and second chance at goal from Scotty Taylor, and this time he's made no mistake. So he's made amends for that earlier miss.
Nico!
And Willie push it out to 8-4-52. Well on top at the moment. Bendigo 4-5-29. And here's that bit of play again, playing on. But again, they've just lifted the pressure. It's a shocking option, going short, leaving it on defensive 40. Scotty Taylor able to pick up. He had an option there in the goal square. He said, no thanks, I'll have a shot myself. So he's made amends, and he gets his name on the goal kicking list.
It's getting a very serious thing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how do you think he's been playing tonight? We won't pursue that any longer. I think it's going on ground that we shouldn't go. How do you think he's going tonight?
Oh, he's doing okay, yeah.
Does he like it at Willie?
He loves it.
And you a Willie girl on that?
No, actually, I'm not. I'm an Eastern girl.
Eastern
side of Melbourne, yeah.
The church belt area.
Oh, that's right.
I better not bring up about churches. You'll start buying frocks. Back to you, Peter.
Craig Smoker's had 8 disposals and 4 marks, so that should make everyone happy.
So chipping it up is Shields. No one able to get it at ground level. Bendigo with a chance kicking it is O'Toole to the pocket there from behind Bauer. He's not going to get anywhere near the ball in that position. A chance now, and kicking a goal for Bendigo was Brown, Mark Brown, so he able to just chip it over, unguarded goal square, and Bendigo able to kick their 5th goal, so they push it out to 5-5-35. 17 points behind the Willie score of 8-4-52, but here's that bit of play again. Bauer from behind, actually kept out of the contest quite easily by Robbins on that occasion. Comes out to Mark Brown, lucky bounce, ball working its way to the face of goal, and Brown picking it up and doing the rest.
Well, he buried his head, and someone picked his pocket, and that man was Brown, who kicked the goal, and then he's pinpointed the pass to Darren Walsh, who's taken the mark about 35 metres out from goal, and as he lines up, let's head down to Crackers once again.
I've got Johnny Tresize down here that I played football against when he was at Carlton, and he went up and coached my old town of Yarrawonga, and you've got a kid out there, John.
Yeah, young bloke's having a go, Crackers. Yeah, Nathan. He's been down to Willie for a couple of years and got back in the seniors tonight, so looking forward to for him playing some good footy.
Now, there's a bit of a... I'm going to take you up and introduce you to a bloke who coached you, Delegate Des Dixon. I was interviewing a while ago. He coached you at Sandhurst, didn't he?
That's right. Delegate was my first senior coach in footy, and I guess a lot of Delegate's traits rubbed off on his charges, and I wouldn't be any exception to that.
Back to you, Peter. I hate your choice of hats. You can't believe that, can you, Dakes? Look at the hat on the fellow, will you?
Looks like he's ready to go skiing, Dakes.
So Brown has it now for Bendigo. He'll go short on the wing position. He's got his captain coach out there. Bauer, who slips over. Has time though. He'll look up. Kick on that left foot. It's not a very good kick. Doesn't give his teammate much of a chance there. Willie able to work it out as the siren goes. As Mark West picks up the ball, Donners. Pretty good second quarter from Mark West, and he was one of the reasons that Willie were able to push forward.
Yeah, 5 goals in that quarter to Williamstown and 3 to Bendigo, but it looked as though Willie were going to run away with it at one stage. Credit to the Bendigo Diggers, who got the last couple. So there's the half-time score, 8-5 to 6-6. The margin is 11 points. And the major goal kickers so far for Williamstown, Dooley's kicked a couple, and also kicking a couple, McCree. And for the Bendigo Diggers, their major contributor so far has been number 28, Bo Shields, who's got 2 goals. Andrew Buse and Barry Round. Something to think about. And you can hear Busey, the Rat, in the background talking about spirit at half-time. That's something he'll be talking to his players about. We'll be back. Monday Night Football continues on C7 Sport from Waverley Park after this break.
Terrific palm actually back in the middle of the ground. Smoke will run onto it. onto that left foot. He'll chip it up and out in front of his teammates, so he gives Dooley every opportunity. Dooley will go back to West. West over the top. Good running by Willie. Good use of the ball. Hollow comes back onto that right foot. A nice boomerang. It'll land just in front of the square. Not able to take the mark off the ground. Someone. Willie, yes. Picks up and kicks a goal. It's Josh Marnie. So Willie once more able to get on the board early to start a quarter. So they've got their first 2 minutes into this third quarter.
Uncanny knack of being able to find space. Tried to bounce, didn't come back to him. Now he's got a problem. In after it was Bowden. Looped the hand pass up in the air. Toynton. Kick only goes as far as Mark West. He gives it off by hand. Bowden at 45 metres has got plenty of time. Let's go. Kicks towards the goal square, and that was good work at the front by Round. Just kept the men out of the contest for Dooley to take the mark. And he'll kick for goal from 5 metres out, but he'll be in a pretty tight angle, you would think.
Look, you can't question just his positioning at the moment because he's ended up with the ball. But I would have liked to have seen Paul Dooley. I think Paul Dooley's actually at the spot far too often, Phil. I think he's standing there waiting for the ball to arrive more so than coming out to meet it.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier, Dakes. You know, blokes just got to time their run, and if they can see a bloke coming down the ground, they need to just hold and make sure they hit that spot when they're up in the air.
Yep, so Paul Dooley has his third.
Mark West tries to get a hand pass over the top and does. Ball came from Smoker over to Plunkett. Plunkett gives it to Marnie. Marnie kicks across the face of goals, but he was looking for a man and he found him. And the mark has been taken there by, is it Eames or Lloyd?
No, Eames.
He's got it.
Good strong mark.
10 metres out from goal. Yeah, it was a good strong mark.
So a bit of a bonus, I suppose. The option this evening's been Dooley. The ball sailing over his head. And Anthony Eames asked to go and taking a pretty good mark in the end.
9th disposal coming up. Second goal coming up. Anthony Eames has another one, and Williamstown take a pretty handy break. This will be their biggest break in the match at 29 points now, 11-5 to 6-6, and that'll keep Andrew Buse and Barry Round, no doubt, Phil Mail, and just that little bit happier.
I've got Jim Reid down here, Sergeant Jim Reid, and he's going to escort us home because all the things you've been saying tonight, people have found out, Peter Donegan, and we're in a bit of strife, but Jimmy, you're going to give us an escort out here, aren't you?
Absolutely. Crackers, no worries at all.
How many people here tonight, Jim?
There's a few hundred here, and I think they should be congratulated for being fairly loyal and sticking to the club. It's a long way to come, isn't it?
Now, you've been coming out here since we started. It's starting to get a little bit cold.
Yeah, I've been here since 1989 and I've seen the highs and lows of this place. And
do you like the place, do you?
Absolutely love it.
Do you reckon they should close this down?
No, I'm a bit one-sided in that respect. Yeah, there's been some good footy here and good times.
And you've had some bad times, I suppose, too.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that over the years we've seen highs and lows of footy here. Seen the start of the World Series cricket here. It's been, it's been a very important place in the history of Victoria, hasn't it?
Yeah. I better let you go, Jimmy. I'm going to go over there and we can reminisce. Back to you, Peter.
Oh, yes. Well, you just do that, Crackers. I wonder if Jim was here the night that the lights went out. Wasn't
Possibly.
that an amazing night?
You were out, are you?
No, I was actually sitting at home and I was watching it on C7.
Oh, okay.
Before the days it was C7, but on Optus Vision, and sitting at home, and all of a sudden the picture just went lighter in front of you. It was amazing television.
I can't remember that, but I take your word for it, Donners.
Would I lie to you?
Anyway, back to the footy. Into the pocket, there's a chance. Connaughton's got the mark. That could have been 50. He's certainly asking the question. So Ryan Connaughton hasn't been a bad player. Certainly one of his better strengths is his running ability. He came from about 30 metres, 30, 40 metres, following the ball down, able to cut across, read it pretty well, Phil, and he's going to go back and have his shot at goal.
Yeah, they're keeping their forward 50 fairly open down there, and Troy West is having a good duel with Shields. Troy West is Scott West's brother.
Oh, okay.
Champion Western Bulldogs player, so yeah, it's a good duel down there.
Up to between wing and half forward. Sutherland's done a couple of very nice things back there. Did that cleverly. Just patted it down with his right hand, then got it back. O'Toole moves it on by hand. Very good smother by Jimmy Plunkett. Able to affect the kick and get it over the boundary line, 55 metres out from the goal that he's defending. Let's head down to Scotty West, who's down there with Crackers.
Scotty, how are you going?
Very well, but a little bit on the chilly side.
What made you come out here tonight?
Well, my brother does captain the Williamstown Footy Club, and obviously some of our guys from the Western Bulldogs. known as the Sea Dogs down there.
Sea Dogs, yeah.
Are out there, so, you know, come to support him.
He's a bit bigger than you, brother.
Yeah, he got all the muscle and all the height, and I got the shit that was left over, if I can say that.
No, not really, but don't worry about that. Well, a few of the Catholic preachers had heart attacks, but don't worry about it. But what happens when you're kids? Did he used to lord it over you?
He did, actually. He was always a lot taller than me growing up, and still is, but, you know, it was real good having an older brother to have the kick of the footy. I've got a twin brother as well, so always used to have a kick in the court.
Now, the Dakes have got something to announce to Scotty West and his lovely wife are going to have a baby in how many weeks' time?
About 7 weeks, if all goes well.
You're out here, and what are you going to call him? Or her?
Him or her? Well,
Peter?
After you, yes.
No, after Dakes.
I might call Phil Malin. He's in the box there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the box.
Oh.
Back to you, Shark, and Peter Donegan. Well done, mate.
Thanks, Crackers. Geez, that'll get him an extension, Shark. That'll get him another, what, 6 years on the contract. How old is Scotty West?
Oh, Scotty's only 25, I would think.
Is that right? Yeah, had a terrific career.
Yeah, I think he's probably been a bit bashful there. I reckon he probably got all the brains, didn't he? Not all that other stuff he was talking about.
This is Brett Rogers kicking for goal, who had his teeth rattled just a moment ago.
That's a goal.
By Damien Jurgen. He's kicked a goal, so they just keep on coming. Well done to Bendigo. They're only 3 goals down now, and they're a realistic chance here. 12-6 plays 9-6.
And we'll have a throw in just forward a wing now, and Bendigo into attack, Donners.
Monday night footy's just getting bigger and bigger, you know, because some of the biggest stars in worldwide television are here. Heard of a show called Neighbours? Crackers?
Yes, and I've got him here, and he's a committed 50 years. Harold Bishop is barracking for Williamstown, and he's dirty on the colours.
Yeah, I don't like the new outfit, I got to say. I can't recognise him. I just can't recognise him. Now, I followed that team for 50 years, and I used to get down there as I suppose when I got around about 15 or 16, I was a fat, awful-looking kid. Used to take my own football down there and kick the footy when they were training down there, and hope that they'd see a brilliant star.
What happened?
I'm still sitting up here looking at them, aren't I?
You go every week?
Oh, yeah. I try never to miss a game.
What do you like about the Williamstown Oval?
I don't know. I don't know whether you had to be a kid there or not, but I had a bit of a break. I didn't go and watch them for some time while I sort of tried to make something out of my own profession. And when I went back, it was about 15 years. I had about a 15-year break. I walked into that ground and it was exactly the same. And I felt great.
Just like Ramsey Street?
A bit like that, yeah.
Now, what do you think of the new amalgamation with Western Bulldogs?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. You just want it all got to be Williamstown.
Yeah, well, I mean, we play a great game one week. Who's to say we're going to have the same team the week after?
You might have a point there. I'll let you go back.
I'm very lonely. I'm standing in the paddock by myself here. Everyone else loves it. I'm not mad about it. I like VFA. I'm committed to VFA.
Can you tell us what happened to Neighbours next week so I don't have to watch it?
I'd never watch it anyway, so I don't know what happened this week.
Oh, I better go after that. We're back to you, Peter.
There you go. Crackers finding all the stars. They're out here.
Kylie Minogue's dad, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, something. Definitely some relation. Have you ever seen Neighbours? Neighbours.
Watch it every week.
You would have been on Neighbours.
I've actually
do everything else: squash, horse racing.
I've been onto the set of Neighbours.
Got your toe in there somewhere.
And you should see the people who come out from England just to have a look at the set. It's amazing.
Was the player down there? No, my apologies, it wasn't. Smoker, Craig Smoker on the right foot.
Good pass to the trainer too. Hit him on the foot.
No holding. Brad Lloyd coming off. So Sadi Ghazi reappearing. Dooley using his body. It'll come down. Bendigo the chance. It'll go to the goal square. And it's a mark. And a beauty too. Shields down there, who's done quite well. He's kicked through both. Shields had kicked 2 in that first quarter. He's kicked 1 in this third. And that was a great mark. Eyes on the ball. Controlled it beautifully. There it is, 3 bites. Did well. Now he really does have to finish it off, because this is what it's all about. If he's going to be up inside that 50, this should be a gimme. It is. And here come Bendigo.
4 marks, 4 goals.
So he's done well. He may not have had a lot of the ball, but when you talk percentages, you can't ask any more of him. His efficiency's been spot on. So 4 goals, as you mentioned, Donners, and only an 8-point lead now. So I think with the way this quarter's ending up, we're just under 25 minutes into the third quarter.
And another centre break here and going into this inside 50.
Great
Big kick by Walsh.
Oh,
to the back,
yes!
and O'Toole's got the mark, and he can cut the margin back to 2 points.
I'll tell you what they have done in the last 6 or 7 minutes. They're going pretty long with a lot of their kicking.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dakes. They have changed the style, and their skill level's pretty good at this point in time. And I suppose if you combine that with Willie's lack of accountability, it's accounting for what we're seeing.
So a big kick here for Matthew O'Toole from 40 metres. He's got it, and they are back to within 2 points. This could be a huge upset coming up here. Bendigo 11-10, Williamstown 12-6. 25 and a half minutes gone. Another raking long kick from Walsh, and great judgment shown at the back by O'Toole.
Yep.
As Jugan took his man on, came back inside, bounce. Then he's got a man in all sorts of space at about 50 metres. He moves it on quickly. Scrubby old kick, lucks a fortune, and the mark taken by Patrick Bowden. Not sure whether he meant that one, but it was a real mongrel off the boot.
Well, they did well to move it very quickly down the other end. Bendigo with a chance, and I think within probably 10 seconds or 3 kicks, they now find themselves in a scoring position. And really, they had a runner in Jurgen who was able to take a guy on, get down the ground. A long kick finds Bowden.
From 35 metres, very important kick, and he's got it.
Oh, clear!
And did they need that?
He's a good kid, Peter, Bowden. He's taken a while to settle in. He's only just learning the caper, but we've got some real high hopes for Patrick.
Came from the Northern Territory, Phil?
Yeah, Alice Springs, Peter.
Yep.
So only 19 years of age. Patrick Bowden, brother of Joel Bowden, the Tigers.
I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt with this kick too, Dakes. I think he saw the man, just didn't quite execute it probably.
It's Matty Dillon down there. Looks up. He'll bomb in. Heading towards wing they are. It'll go over the top. Toynton's there. Did well for a big man. Ran away with the ball. In support for Bendigo was Prowse. They'll go backwards now. Rogers onto that left foot. 2 under 1. Big ass Kia not able to get it with Schmidt. It'll come to Robbins. Robbins will go to that outer side. So heading into half forward now. Again, the turnover may cost them. Siren goes as Big David Round throws it back to the umpire. We are in for a big last quarter with Willie Donners, I suppose, finishing off a little bit in the last minute or so, a little bit of an improvement.
And they certainly needed to, because in the previous 10 minutes it was all Bendigo. It's 22 scoring shots to 21, and Williamstown leads by just 9 points at three-quarter time. Are the Bendigo Diggers on the verge of one of the biggest upsets of the season and their first win of the season? We'll find out when we come back to Waverley Park. Monday Night Football, C7 Sport, after this break.
What do you always think? You be proud of that effort? We had him on toast. We got him. But then foot comes off the pedal. Look at the scoreboard. We're doing okay. And then it's just, how much can we screw around? 15 handball receives. First 7 minutes of the game, that quarter. Then 5 for the rest of the quarter. Come on. It tells us exactly how we're playing, doesn't it?
Running, boys.
It tells us exactly what we're doing wrong. It tells us what's missing, not wrong, okay? Add that to our game. Add it to your game this quarter.
7 tackles. I'm not too concerned with that because we did most of the attacking that quarter. Isn't it great momentum in footy? We've got some momentum. We've got a bit of a sniff. So we don't just lay back now. We don't just go back in the back foot. We take that sniff and we bloody go for it. We really have to go for it. I'm not going to overburden you with instructions at this point of the game. What I'm going to say is that we've just got to stick to the basics. We've got to persevere. That's what this game's about. It's about which side's going to crack. To your credit, you haven't cracked. You know, in recent weeks, perhaps we could have. 4 or 5 goals down, but we clawed our way back. That's the sign of a persistent team. And that's what wins games of footy. It's not flashy stuff. It's the team that can just hang in the longest. And we're starting to do it. We're starting to do that. But we've got 30 minutes now in front of us to not only persist and not only persevere, but to go the next step. Okay, find it within yourself, fellas. It's a good feeling. It's a bloody terrific feeling. But we've got to make sure that we do all the attacking. Okay, let's not react to what they're doing. Let's just take a few more risks. Let's make sure we're always running from behind and make sure that we try and use the channel as much as possible.
I'd just like to thank the Coffees are sensational at three-quarter time. They're better at three-quarter time. We might just wait for the Coffees at three-quarter time next week, Donners.
Very nice. Toyton off to
Beautiful.
Bosworth. Dylan, little soccer toe poke. Shields across his body. Has a snap at goal. And
he's got it.
All clear.
So we're back to a 4-point ball game again. Bo Shields has got another one. That's 5. And it's 12-11 to 13-9. Coming up towards the 8-minute mark of the final quarter. Willie holding on by the skin of their teeth. Walsh has been fantastic for them tonight. Played on.
Again, turnover.
Again, he's made the mistake. This time, Beasley brings it in. Dooley's going to take the mark. You give him a wrap. And unfortunately, Walsh, he's done precious little wrong tonight. That one was a mistake, and it really might cost them.
So, again, a turnover has certainly cost them, as you said. But you can't go out. I think certainly their game tonight. I'll have a bit of a yak after this kick.
Dooley looking for his 4th goal. He's got it.
All clear.
Gives them a bit of breathing space. Margin is 11 points now. So Bendigo really do need the next one. And there to mop up, deciding not to take the ball over the boundary line was Tresize. Go back to Eames. Back in defence. Didn't quite pinpoint the kick. Gather Cole tries to break the tackle. Gives it to Brown. Chain of hand passes here. Back to Gather Cole. 45 metres out. Left foot kick. He's got it.
Oh,
that's a goal. So we're back to a 6-point ball game. Bendigo, you have to admire their courage. They're throwing everything they've got at Williamstown, and they're only a goal down as we approach the 19-minute mark of the final quarter.
He'll go out wide. There's a couple out here. Matt Dillon, he's well tackled, just dropped it. So Smoker. So all players actually at all costs trying to play on. It's Josh Marnie now. He lines up, straightens up from behind for Willie. He's got it. And running in was Ghazi. Sadi Ghazi, the smallest player on the ground. Terrific plays, had a great career at Williamstown. I think had an earlier stint many years ago, tried out at Footscray, as it was named back then. But Sadi Ghazi, what you will get is an honest go from him. He's a terrific little player. He's had a great career with Willie. So he'll line up 15 metres, shouldn't be a problem, and it isn't. So a bit of a goal sneak. Sadi kicks his first goal back on the ground, and that gives him a bit of breathing space. Heading into 21 minutes into this last quarter, will he go out to a 2-goal lead?
And Phil Malin, I reckon this could be a match-winning tackle from Craig Smoker. Not anyone, did he?
No. So he just hovered.
No! He's kicked it straight into the man and nearly knocked his head off.
So they'll get out of this, Willie. It's Cameron Beasley. Oh, they've got it back. And guess who? Bo Shields has got it. What is it? 5 kicks, still 5 goals?
Yeah.
No, 8 kicks now. 8 and 3. No, I've got it wrong.
5 and 5.
Is that still 5 and 5?
Yep.
Good to see a forward with no handballs either, Donners.
Well, you wrote the book.
Oh, don't be like that. Chance for his 6th. He's made no mistake. Terrific goal. He's kicked 6. So he's certainly played a lone hand up there. He's been a pretty good focal point. Can't ask any more. So the lead's cut back to 7 points. Willie 102, Bendigo 95, 26 minutes. Still a bit of time to go.
Shields is isolated back there. Siren sounds. Williamstown will break the sigh of relief. Bad luck to Bendigo. 27 minutes in the quarter, so it was a fairly short quarter. But Nathan Bauer's got a smile on his face, and well he might. And I think we were all sort of hoping, those of us who didn't have an alliance with Williamstown, that Bendigo would make a game of it, and they did. But well done to Williamstown for hanging on and scoring another victory in this season. That will keep them cemented in the top 8. That's victory number 7 from 10 matches. Final scores 15-12 Williamstown, Bendigo 14-11. And Phil Malin, even though you'd be breathing a sigh of relief, you'd have to admire the effort of the boys from the north.
Well, you know, I didn't know what to expect. You look at the premiership ladder and see them without a victory, and you think it's going to be an easy game, and obviously Williamstown thought that way, but they did a tremendous job. I don't think Williamstown will be singing that song too vigorously when they go back into the rooms.
Well, There's Shields, Bo Shields, who ended up a terrific contributor, 6 goals by him. But as you mentioned, Donna, certainly Nathan Bower will go away and be quite pleased with the performance. Relatively young team, Connaughton on screen, Ryan Connaughton, who had a pretty good evening as well, so I think he could be impressed. A little bit disappointed with that last kick, but nevertheless, overall, good game.
One of their best was Mark Brown. He finished up with 29 disposals, 6 marks. He kicked a goal as well. Here he is with Crackers.
Brownie, a little bit disappointing?
Very disappointing. You know, to come up here, I suppose, I think we're something like 10 and zip, and you know, or zip and 10, more to the point, and to come so close, it's very disappointing.
You've had a fair year yourself since coming from the Swans?
No, actually, I've had a terrible year.
I've been reported a few times.
Yeah, I've missed a couple of weeks, Ruckers, which is a bit disappointing, but you know, no one can blame it myself.
Played all right tonight. You happy with your form?
I got a few kicks, but it doesn't really count for much when you lose by 7 points. I mean, it doesn't matter how well you play, I suppose, if you don't bring home the points.
Oh, well, you deserve your bus trip on the way home. Go and have a shower and mix with the other boys. Well done, Brownie. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Crackers. A very disappointed Mark Brown there. And there are the Williamstown players coming off the ground after having registered their 7th victory. I dare say they would have come here tonight, not overconfident, but thinking that they would have come off the ground with a fairly comprehensive victory. But those boys gave it to them every inch of the way.
Yeah, look, no sadder feeling in footy, is it, Phil? I mean, the effort was sensational, but you go away empty-handed and it leaves an empty feeling.
Yeah, it sure does. By the sounds of that Bendigo player, you know, they're not taking defeat too easy still, which is the most important thing. I think once you start accepting defeat, then you might as well not even run out there.
Williamstown victors by 7 points over the Bendigo Diggers. We'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll chat with some of the winners and the losers when we return.